Outlander, The Blood of My Blood is quickly becoming one of those prequel shows where every single detail seems to carry some deeper meaning. Fans of the Outlander universe know that names, connections, and family ties are never thrown in by accident. So when Julia finally named her baby boy William Henry Beauchamp in Season 1, Episode 8, it instantly set the fandom buzzing with theories. Was this baby's name a hidden connection to Jamie's family? Was it some kind of foreshadowing that tied into the many Williams we already know exist in the Outlander story? Or was it simply a touching family moment that ended up being way more meaningful than people expected? The answer finally came in this episode, and it's a mix of something beautifully simple and surprisingly important. The show revealed that the baby's name isn't some mysterious twist or setup for a major reveal later down the line. Instead, it's a nod to family heritage, something deeply rooted in both the Beauchamp and Mackenzie traditions. That doesn't mean fans are wrong for theorizing, though, because Outlander has conditioned us to look for hidden clues everywhere. And honestly, when it comes to names in this universe, you can't really blame anyone for digging deep into the possible symbolism. In Episode 8, Julia and Henry finally reunited in an emotional and heartfelt scene. For a while, Henry had been struggling with the idea that he might be seeing a ghost wandering around Castle Leoch, but the truth was much more real and far more emotional. Julia was alive, and not only that, she had a son. Henry's first introduction to little William was filled with love, shock, and a flood of questions. And then came the reveal of the baby's full name, William Henry Beauchamp. That's when things really took off in the fandom, because Outlander fans know better than to take a name at face value. At first glance, many people assumed this might be another case of the writers dropping a clever Easter egg. After all, there are already so many characters named William in the Outlander saga that adding another one feels like it must mean something bigger. Jamie himself has a son named William. His older brother was named William. There's even a William connected to the Mackenzies in the earlier storylines. With so many Williams floating around, it seemed almost impossible that this choice of name was random. But as Julia explained to Henry in the episode, William isn't a mysterious hint, it's simply a family name. It turns out that Henry's grandfather was named William, and Julia chose to honor that lineage. Even though Julia may never have met her husband's grandfather, she clearly knew enough about him through Henry's stories to want to keep that memory alive. And during that time period, it was extremely common for parents to name their children after family members, especially grandparents. It was a way of keeping family history alive, tying each new generation back to the ones who came before. That little detail grounds the moment in something beautifully real. Outlander has always been a story that blends sweeping time travel romance with deeply human themes about family, love, and legacy. By naming her son William, Julia is making sure Henry's family line stays strong and remembered, even in the middle of a story that's full of displacement, separation, and uncertainty. The baby's middle name, Henry, is equally meaningful. This isn't just about tradition, it's also about keeping the bond between Julia and Henry alive in the most personal way possible. Julia has been living with the fear of losing Henry to time itself, so giving their child his father's name was her way of making sure that Henry was always present in their son's life, no matter what happened. Even though the world around them is unstable and their story is complicated by all the time travel and clan politics, the name Henry acts like a lifeline that connects father and son forever. But what about all those other Williams in Outlander? Fans were quick to jump on the idea that maybe Julia's William is secretly tied to Brian and Ellen's family. Some theories even suggested that Julia's baby might end up being Brian and Ellen's firstborn William. And while these theories are creative and fun to think about, the timeline simply doesn't match up. A baby born in 1715 as a newborn in 1716. Outlander plays with time in wild ways, but even that would be stretching it too far. The truth is, this William isn't meant to be a secret double identity for another character we already know. He's not Jamie's brother, not Jamie's son, and not any of the other Williams scattered across the Outlander story. Instead, he's a symbol of family continuity for Julia and Henry. He's proof that not every name in this universe has to serve as a hidden twist. Sometimes it's simply about honoring family, and that's exactly what makes this moment so powerful. Still, this choice of name does leave the door open for some interesting future storytelling. Since Outlander has always woven together multiple family lines and stories, it's possible that Brian and Ellen could later choose to honor Julia by using the name William for their firstborn. That wouldn't make Julia's William the same as Brian and Ellen's William, but it would create a symbolic link between the families. It would also reinforce the theme that even across generations, names carry weight and meaning. What's particularly fascinating about this reveal is how it shows the writers balancing fan expectations with storytelling grounded in reality. On one hand, Outlander fans expect names, objects, and dialogue to connect back to the larger mythology. On the other hand, the showrunners know that sometimes the simplest explanation is also the most emotional. By making William Henry Beauchamp's name a straightforward family tribute, the show gets to honor tradition while still giving fans something to speculate about. It's also worth noting that Julia's choice reflects her character's strength and her deep understanding of the importance of memory. In many ways, she's ensuring that her son will always have roots, even if life pulls them in unpredictable directions. By tying her son to Henry's family and to Henry himself, she's giving William both a history and an identity that goes beyond just being a child born into extraordinary circumstances. The beauty of this reveal is that it works on multiple levels. For casual viewers, it's a touching moment of family bonding. For longtime Outlander fans, it's another puzzle piece in the massive, interconnected story. And for those who love theorizing, it's both a confirmation and a challenge. It confirms that William is connected to the Beauchamp family line, but it also challenges fans to think about how these smaller details could ripple out into bigger storylines later. So, while William Henry Beauchamp may not be secretly tied to Jamie's family in some shocking twist, his name still matters. It represents history, love, and legacy. It keeps Henry's grandfather's memory alive. It keeps Henry's bond with his son alive, and it may even echo into other storylines down the road in subtle but meaningful ways. In Outlander, no detail is ever wasted, even when it looks simple on the surface. By the time this season wraps up, it's likely that fans will continue to spin theories about the importance of baby William. But the truth is that his biggest importance might not be about who he connects to in the larger Outlander story. It might simply be about how he connects Julia and Henry in the here and now. And honestly, that's just as powerful as any major plot twist.